Football with friends is fun as hell. My name is Alex Dunlap here with Cody Carpentier, live from Texas Beef Traders, live in the flesh. You've heard us talk about Texas Beef Traders on the show every day, and we've talked about this event the whole time. Have a great group of people here with us. We have Blake, our old producer, some of our great friends here, people eating some sausages, some sliders, having a whole lot of fun. Cody and I are about to stuff our face live on camera, so we're going to have a lot of fun doing that. I think.
I'm down.
Yeah, right. But it's also a Final Takes Friday for just a monster game that we have coming up here with the Michigan Wolverines. A whole ton to get to. Cody, how was your flight? And dude, tell me, so coming in to the Austin airport, you've flown in a million times. How was it today with the various Longhorn fans heading out?
It wasn't just, first off, my flight was good. It wasn't just that Austin, though. It was also DFW. I flew into DFW because, heaven forbid, I get a direct flight from Charleston, South Carolina to Austin. But I go into DFW, and I'm there for 3 hours today. And you can just – I'm sitting up there in the club level, the penthouse, watching these people walk by. And it's
how did you get in the club level?
And it's just like hundreds and hundreds of burnt orange shirts walking forth and back. And then I flew into Austin. There's actually people that flew to Austin just to fly up to Detroit, which didn't quite make sense to my mind. But anyway, it was the airport seemed full. If you go on Twitter right now, you can see Chicago was another hub that was just like pictures were flowing, things were going. I don't know. Is this big house thing? Is this going to be half orange or what?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Dude? But
you don't think 50,000 fans are going to be up there?
Dude, Texas always has a great showing. It's not always half the half the big house though. I don't think that would be a lot of people flying out for sure. But yeah, man, so pumped to be here with you guys. Already a ton of people popping in here to the stream. So we can't tell you how much we appreciate it. And we got a big show, man. It's a Final Takes Friday. So at some point, Cody is going to put up the poll to where you can vote for who the winner is with the best takes of the whole day.
Who's 2-0, just like Texas is about to be? This guy.
My takes have been
2-0.
My takes have been great.
With blowouts, might I say?
Okay. Well, I feel like my takes have been great. And so just remember, look, vote for Alex. Okay, it's the only thing that I can tell you about this.
This isn't an election.
Let's get into the final takes.
Final takes.
Yes.
All right. First one. This is courtesy of Alex.
Oh, dude, wait. There are people in the chat that are already saying that they're
in Ann Arbor.
In Ann Arbor, they're coming in from
Uncle Mickey.
They're coming in from like Chicago. They're all kinds of folks. Nearly 200 of you guys already here in the stream, man. We can't thank you enough for being here. Thank you so much. We're gonna get right to football and into Final Takes Friday. Okay, so what's the first one?
We gotta get rid of this blue. I'll tell you that right now. We gotta get rid of the color blue on
you
this.
Gotta get that burnt orange, man.
What are we doing here? I don't know. This just StreamYard just resets every time with these colors. I don't like it.
Okay.
Final Takes. Alex says, you can read it off. It's your final take.
Is getting a win versus Michigan more important than getting a win versus Oklahoma?
No. Michigan's a big win. But I think in the long run, like last year, the only thing I think is comparable to last year is the defensive fronts with Alabama, right? That's the only thing I think is comparable. The offenses are not comparable. Where the teams are sitting today and where Alabama was sitting last year in week 2, very similar. The offenses were in disarray. Alabama didn't know what they were. They were wondering what Jalen Milroe was. Michigan, quite honestly, in 3 weeks, we could be seeing Alex Georgie be the lead of this offense. It all just depends on what comes to fruition because we know that Davis Warren is not the answer at the quarterback from an efficiency standpoint. Rex St. Charles says, I can smell the Axe body spray from here.
Are you wearing Axe body spray?
I think that's you. Look at your hair sticking up and stuff, man. I don't know if that's me.
You better axe somebody. But no Axe body spray for sure.
I will say just in totality, though, that I believe that a loss to Michigan is not that big. It's big, but it's also, the national champion from last year with a very good defense that I think in the long run, when Wink Martindale is really able to put his fingerprints on this team, when we're talking about week 10, week 11, going into that Ohio State game, this Michigan team is going to be in the conversation to be in the playoff. This isn't that. It's still not Oklahoma. Like Oklahoma, I don't think will be competing in the end for a playoff spot.
Why? Just because you do not believe in Jackson Arnold?
The offensive line. I don't believe in the offensive line at Oklahoma. Their wide receiver room is completely ran through other than Deion Burks. And it's a rivalry game. All of those aspects, I believe that Michigan will be there in the end, which is kind of what I'm basing this whole theory on, is that I think Michigan will be there in the end. and a loss against Michigan will look better than a loss against Oklahoma when we get to playoff time.
Well, I think that's probably I don't know. I'm not sure that's a consensus take, right?
Probably not.
I mean, for me,
Georgia would be a good one to add into that.
well, no, but I think that anybody would say that a win over Georgia would be more important, right? I don't know. Like, I'd be curious. Like, do you guys think it's more important to win versus Oklahoma or versus Michigan? we got Nathan here saying who sucks more. Look, as somebody that's followed this program closely since I was in college at Texas, and it's like almost any year, it's you got to win versus Oklahoma. You know, it's in this year, first year in the SEC, both the new kids on the block. It's the kind of thing where you don't want Oklahoma coming in and peeing in your Cheerios your first year in the SEC. And I see these two opponents as being similar opponent. I think that OU is going to be in the mix as far as the CFP stuff later on, and will come kind of heavily into the discussion there. So. But gosh,
I don't think they make it to the SEC schedule.
I just the one thing I keep coming back to is what if it is just because that it's this early season game that sets the tone for the rest of it. And then, but what I think about is the countervailing point to that is that, well, at the very beginning of the SEC schedule is basically Oklahoma. What is it? Mississippi State and then Oklahoma
and then Georgia.
Yeah,
and then Vandy.
I think you got to win that thing just to make sure you come right into the SEC. You're going up against your vaunted rival. You get into SEC play. You make sure you get past Oklahoma. You turn your eyes to Georgia. You come into that game riding some kind of crest.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you wanted to lose, if you had to lose one of them, you'd much rather lose this one, because if you lose that Oklahoma one, you're scared of losing that second one in a row. Which then, at that point of the season, you're kind of in trouble.
Already 300 people watching, man. We can't thank you guys enough. We can't thank Texas Beef Traders enough. We're here live in Lakeway, Texas at Texas Beef Traders. A bunch of great people here. It looks like Darren's already started bringing out some awesome sliders that we'll talk to you about here in a minute. We're going to be sampling all kinds of food. And I also want to talk to you about these new Piedmontese cattle that they have here. Cody saw that. What was that thing called? The ham?
Thor's hammer.
Like the hammer of God or something. Maybe he can bring that thing out for us to show us. But yeah, it's just a bunch of great stuff here that we're going to be able to show you throughout the course of the show. But thank you guys for being here, and thanks to Texas Beef Traders for having us out. And thanks to Poncho Outdoors, man. Cody and I both rocking our various Poncho shirts, man. So want to make sure to give Poncho Outdoors some love too. Thanks so much to them and everybody for making this possible, this live show. Cody coming in all the way from South Carolina to be here for 12 hours before you head back home. Go watch the Michigan game. All right. What is the next final takes question here?
Final takes. Who is the Texas backup that will enter the starting roster with a Cam Williams type impact in 2025?
Do you have a good one off the top of your head?
Well, I think that the chalk would have to go to Gooseby, right? We're talking offensive line strictly here, right?
No, like when I wrote the question, I was thinking any player that right now is technically a backup.
Oh, well then, Wingo.
I think that
Wingo.
Right. Well, I mean, when I wrote this answer, I said that my answer was going to be Wingo, and I was just going to dunk on you. so why don't you say Gooseby? I'll say Wingo. But I think that could be the case. The others that I was thinking that could maybe kind of have that sort of impact would be Wingo, and then depending on what happens
Colin
with
Simmons. That's another one.
Well,
technicality.
Is he technically a backup?
On technicality of snap one starter. Juju Smith-Schuster was a starter last night for Kansas City.
Did he start?
He started. And then they took him out the second rep. But
he didn't. Blake saying they need Hollywood Brown back. That's probably about right. I'm not sure how bad they need him. Dude, Xavier Worthy last night. That guy introduced himself to the NFL and did exactly what I've said. Exactly what I said, man.
Should we just pop up that final take?
The NFL cannot allow this dude to go to the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. And I know that on the second touchdown, it wasn't anything where it was him creating separation on his own. or him doing it.
I mean, that is Marlon. If that's the definition of what Marlon Humphreys plays football.
Well, no, it's not. He's not always been somebody that just leaves somebody running wide and free open.
I mean, I remember doing some cornerback stuff the last 3 years, and it's like who always ends up with the biggest game of output allowed, and it's usually Marlon Humphrey 2 or 3 times with north of 200 yards allowed in a game. Like, I'm not saying that he's a bad corner because he's not. He's a top 20 corner in the league, but he gets.
Okay, so the final takes question is after last night's game, Xavier Worthy is now firmly in play for NFL Rookie of the Year.
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, technically, he's on pace for 34 touchdowns. Don't you love those people that tweet that out and they're like, technically, like as soon as Derrick Henry scored that first touchdown, I go, technically, he's on pace for 136 touchdowns this year.
It's an island game, and so in an island game, and this the biggest island game of the season, one where everybody's watching, one where everybody is tuned in, one where everybody has gone and placed their bets, and they've gone and they've studied what's about to happen in this one and all the rest of it, right? That's the one where Xavier Worthy ends up, coming in and going absolutely ham. I think that's going to have a lasting impression on anybody who watched it. But the fact of the matter is that the welcome in, brother. Good to see you. Welcome to Texas Beef Traders. It's kind of a quarterback award.
It is kind of a quarterback award, but like that's the thing is like Jefferson set the rookie record for receiving yards, right? Got beat by Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Puka Nacua set the record last year, got beat by C.J. Stroud. So it's a prolific quarterback season will always outdo a prolific wide receiver season. The thing is Caleb, who just got nominated in the USC Retire My Jersey Award.
We already talked about this.
The most cocky thing of all time. But like, even if a mediocre, like a 4,000-yard season from Caleb Williams, is that enough to beat out an Xavier Worthy 1,000 and double-digit touchdowns?
I think that you can just look to last year where a guy like Puka Nacua just won the Offensive Player of the Year, right? I think that is something that's now, if Worthy can keep it up, and here's the thing, he's gonna keep it up. He gets open so seamlessly, and it was like I was talking to Ketch about on the Prize Picks show the other day. If he gets that kinds of separation, right? If he gets that kind of separation that he's always gotten, and dude, last year everybody said, man, it's him and Quinn. They can't get on the same page. What is it about this? Is there something with the way he's tracking the football?
Didn't take long from Mahomes.
Dude, Mahomes. And I think that's the difference between looking at a guy like Mahomes and looking at a guy who's going to be a first-round pick like Quinn Ewers. Like, there are just things that Mahomes, for him, it's like he's not – regardless of how much time they've had together and all the rest of it, if that guy's that wide open, he can judge it. He can get the football to him, and it's just that. But then it's the other stuff that they had dialed in, right? The reverse, all this stuff. Like, so it'll be big to see. I'll be interested to see this weekend whether or not Keenan Allen goes, because if those are good.
He was asking for something from the vending machine.
This is an event, so they're putting in new coolers, and so these coolers, I guess they used to be for drinks. Now they're using them for meat. I will say, though,
I was showing the beef jerky here, but beef jerky actually?
Yeah. So a big announcement as far as our partnership with Texas Beef Traders. We're about to see this. This is MTX beef, Angus beef from Mason, Texas. This delicious, beautiful beef jerky in the cowboy blend and the jalapeno garlic beef jerky blend. We also have the snack sticks up here that everybody always asks, can you ship? And
can you ship, Alex? Can we ship it? Tell them to ship it.
And so now starting next week, we're going to have a link for you guys to be able to order beef jerky and snack sticks and all the rest of that stuff that isn't as perishable as the actual meat while we're getting that kind of online and stuff. But it's going to be co-branded Football with Friends beef jerky from Texas Beef Traders. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to have that stuff available for you next week. And
next week, yeah.
We need to get that bowl of beef. We need to eat some beef jerky and just show them, man. These are big pieces.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah, these are big pieces of beef jerky. Just the best. So, cheers. Let's get to the and here's some food. All right. So here's what we have here: some sliders. This is like steakhouse quality ground beef from Texas Beef Traders. So one of these is 3 different kinds of beef that they have here. They have the MTX Black Angus beef from Mason, Texas. They have the Piedmontese beef from Lukenbach, and they have the Angus beef from Gatesville. In this Piedmontese beef, I'm telling you, man.
Wagyu from Gatesville.
What did I say? I'm sorry. The Wagyu comes from Gatesville. But this Piedmontese beef is so lean, dude. And I'm looking at this chart that they gave me. And if you look at the calories and the cholesterol and the fat mixed with the protein stuff, this stuff has less calories and less fat than ground turkey, salmon, chicken, swordfish, about 1/3 as many calories as pork. And it's delicious, high, and it's higher in protein than any of that stuff. So come and check it out. We have that, and then we have these sliders that Shay is made up with all kinds of stuff that we're going to be eating through the course of the show. Cody, what? So this one I'm about to eat has burger sauce. So what is on this thing?
So
this one has burger sauce.
this is MTX Black Angus beef, American cheese, grilled onions, dill pickle, and burger sauce. And I just tried it. I feel bad for you guys that aren't here because, I mean, everybody here has got burgers in front of them right now. That one's pretty good. The other one, the second one, is Piedmontese with cheddar, fried onions, grilled jalapenos, and Diablo Huma barbecue sauce, which I just saw over here somewhere. But, I mean,
everything that is put on these burgers, these sauces and stuff, you can buy here in the shop. Dude, this is so good.
I'm kind of scared to try this because I can't do heat very good, but what do they say?
We have a super chat here. And thanks to the dude, this is like a record, man. We're like 17 minutes in. We got 400 people watching. All right.
What we got here? Buy or sell, $5. S-Ron. Appreciate you always jumping in the chat, brother. Buy or sell. If the Quinn that played against Alabama and Oklahoma State shows up against Michigan, it's a blowout. Buy or sell.
There's zero doubt. The Quinn that lit up Oklahoma State. Are you kidding me, man? They went and hung out with the Undertaker and put the big thing up. Put the big thing up on the big like belt. That Quinn.
Then the Travis Gailey 45-13 makes sense, right?
It doesn't. Travis said that.
I think that was his. I think that was his projection.
But Travis,
Let's
just say Travis is high on the Longhorns this year. We all are, of course, but 45-13. Boy, that's something. This is a really good defense that Michigan has. We've talked about it. I think that front four is I think the whole defense is the best Texas is going to face this season.
Too sick, dude.
And they're fun to watch, dude. It's the way that Martindale just dials this thing up. Right? It's the way that he dials it up.
42-13 was the number.
42-13 for Travis.
You gotta try this Piedmontese burger. This middle one.
Wait, dude, I gotta eat this one.
You don't gotta eat the whole thing. God dang, man. You could finish it after. It's a sample. It's a tasting. We're walking through them here. Piedmontese, cheddar, fried onions, grilled jalapenos, and the Diablo Huma barbecue sauce.
Dude,
I just had it, and I'll tell you, I can't do heat very good because I don't want to put $1 on the swear jar right now.
Because you're from rural Minnesota.
Because I'm from rural Minnesota, yeah. And I'm starting to sweat a little bit, but this is fantastic.
Oh, dude. And I can't believe that it's less cholesterol and less calories than turkey.
Really?
Yeah.
I grew up a Viking fan. Yeah, that's the. All right, this third one.
All right.
He's doing fantastic. All right, this third one is Iron Table Wagyu, Swiss. Bacon table Wagyu bacon.
Wagyu bacon,
sauteed mushroom, and mayo. This one may be my favorite. This one looks like it's going to be my favorite.
Pretty good. I'm telling you guys I've been telling you guys about Texas Beef Traders. It's just stupid around here. All right. What's the next final takes? What's the next final takes question?
S-Ron, appreciate you again for
S-Ron, thank you for the super chat, brother. And thanks to the over 400, getting close to 500 people watching. We can't thank you guys enough for being here. Thank you so much for supporting Football with Friends. All right.
Final takes. In your heart of hearts, you think Texas either wins by 21 or loses to Michigan outright? Those two things.
Oh,
You either think it's a Texas mega win or they do
No,
lose.
it's going to be unpopular. I think it's more likely that they lose than they win by 21.
Really? I mean, the general consensus across
it's
the country
both just such. I think that's so stupid. It's like neither of those is going to happen.
But the general consensus right now across the country, big media, small media, local media, all of it, is that this isn't really a compatible matchup because of the Texas offense and the firepower that they bring and the lack of offense that Michigan has. Michigan ain't going to be able to score enough points. That's all you hear across the country right now.
Across
With a T.
Is that a Minnesota thing or just like a Gen Z thing? Across.
I'm not a Gen Z.
I'm just I think that okay, so I think I struggle to see Texas having much success with the traditional run game. I just think that number 78 and number 55 for Michigan are such good players. What Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, number 0, number 8 on the edges. I think they have a really good inside linebacker. I think that just the B gap penetration from number 55, especially whenever he's on Hayden Connor, is going to be. It's going to. I think it's going to mess up their plans to just really run inside zone.
They ran wide last week a lot though.
It's going to mess it up worse versus wide zone
because
then he doesn't get Kelvin to help him out whenever they're going to the left.
Big screen game.
Yes, and I think it's a lot of Jaden Blue as an extension of the run. Yeah. That's why on the Prize Pick show I said him over 13.5 receiving yards is just. I mean, what are we even talking about here? He's gonna have like 30, 35 in the first half. I wonder.
Kyle's got an interesting point. He says Fozzie Whitaker said made a great point. It's kind of like the Notre Dame Aggie game last week. Home field, poor quarterback, depends on the run game, and they got handled.
I'm about to handle this Wagyu burger with Wagyu bacon. Oh, well, dude. I mean, what are we even doing here, Coach? Just turn off the stream, man. What are we even doing? Oh, gosh. And I generally hate Swiss. I can't. That's delicious. Shay, how did you make Swiss taste good? Man. Okay.
It's pretty tough to do a show when you're eating some fantastic meat.
But we got to do it.
All right.
We got to do it.
Here's a question. We just talked about the quarterbacks. Final takes. How much will Alex Orji play on Saturday?
More than last week.
Well, bold.
Do you think last week it was legit? Do you think Texas was really like holding a bunch back and Michigan was really holding a bunch back?
I think Michigan was holding more back. Texas was holding back enough. But I mean, it was 31-0 at halftime. Like, it was in the bag. Michigan held back so much that it was competitive, which
it doesn't mean.
Well, the wild thing is, like, we talked about this defense, but it was like it was 16-10. They gave up 10 points.
It's just super easy.
If this defense was as vaunted, Fresno shouldn't have scored, right?
What you're needing. Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to savings.
We're back. Are we back?
Is it back?
Tell us we're back.
Can you hear us?
We should be plugged in. It's telling us just act out of there. Here you go.
Can you hear us? Hello?
I hope they can.
Can you hear us? You can hear us?
Friendly Mango says he can hear us. Can you guys hear us over there?
All right.
Beautiful. All right.
We're good.
Well, we apologize for that. I apologize for that.
I don't
actually.
apologize. I mean, it's just it just happens, right?
Yeah, it's life.
It just
I got
happens.
excited. I'm talking smack
Okay.
about Michigan. Texas is ready to
Yep.
beat down.
Yep.
Try not to swear.
Dude, I think that Alex Orji is going to play more than Davis Warren.
Well, I think that's a take.
Is my take. I do. I think that they're going to have trouble getting anything going on offense. And when they do, they're not going to – if Texas does what Texas does – and look, this is barring the idea of them doing anything where they get a big score off a turnover or where they can where they can have a big kick return or something like this, right? I think that it's just going to put them in a spot.
Ben Webb, appreciate you for the super chat. The Sliders have the bros in shambles.
Yeah.
Blake!
The sliders make the show. I'm having more fun doing this show than I have doing any of the other shows. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I think Orji's going to play more, and I believe with Sark whenever he says, he can hear Alex smacking his slider. Thank you guys for sticking around, man. I can't believe we're creeping up to 500 people here in the chat, man. It's so good to see everybody. Thanks so much to Texas Beef Traders for having us here. Thanks everybody for coming out, and thanks of course.
Do you know about this? Did he? He's probably been in Michigan 2 years.
I don't know. I would have to look back. Did Alex Orji ever throw to Lockett at Saxey? I just know that at one of those camps, whenever I went and saw Alex Orji at one of them, I left that thinking, dude, this guy is a
He would have been a freshman.
This guy's a total just stud as far as an athlete. I think they're going to need somebody. They're going to need an X factor to offensively keep up with Texas, right? I've said all week, Texas gets to 24 points, 27 points. That's going to be enough. Now you bring in a guy like Orji, and it's not in the true traditional kind of quarterback role, right? If it's in a role where he's on the field with two different guys, it's like him and Warren on the field. Texas is like, well, what do we do? What do we do here? What if they're kind of lined up back there like next to each other, and Orji's like an H-back? You know what I mean? It's like, how do you account for him? Do you? I mean, they've obviously thought about it because Sark says that he thinks that that's coming.
Yeah.
Do you spy Orji? Because he's on the field for a reason. Would you spy him with Anthony Hill?
I think based on seeing Anthony Hill's sideline to sideline speed on the first snap last week, tracking Torrey Horton on the bubble screen, the first play of the game, you remember it. It was like 0 to 60 in 0.02 seconds. He was out there, made that tackle, it was kind of a shoestring, but he made the tackle, right? Showing that athleticism, showing that speed, which we knew Anthony Hill had, but showing that, give me that. Give me Anthony Hill on a spy every single play against Alex Orji when he's on the field. Give me Jotty Barron on Colston Loveland and call it good. Put 7 in the box. Let's party. Let's dance. Shutout. That's a shutout right there.
So do you want Jotty Barron in the nickel over Jalen Gilbo?
I want Jotty Barron. You know how you usually put your alpha corner, your dog corner, your shadow corner on the alpha on the other side. Michigan doesn't have an alpha, and Texas's alpha is Manny Muhammad. Jotty Barron is a Swiss Army knife. He's a Tyrann Mathieu type guy.
But that would mean I get what you're saying.
But I think that's his entire role. They put Loveland outside, Jotty Barron. They put Loveland in the slot, Jotty Barron. They put him in line, Jotty Barron's over the top, like the whole game.
But Sark has said that he doesn't want to use Jotty Barron as a shadow because it takes away from their ability to disguise what they're doing defensively.
Well, do you want Colston Loveland to line up on? You want one of these?
It would just
guys?
be. Well, Gilbo's not shrimpy. You think he's shrimpy?
What is he? 5'10", 190, 190?
I wouldn't call him shrimpy. That guy would roll me up into a ball and kick me down the road, man. I wouldn't call him shrimpy. He's a tough.
He's not exactly big compared to a 6'6", 245-pound Colston Loveland.
I get it. I wonder. So if there's no Barron, then no. If there's no Barron, then that would mean that you basically have to have no Gilbo, because Gilbo doesn't. He's not going to play outside corner over Manny Muhammad or Gavin Holmes.
Well, I'm not saying Colston Loveland's going to play in the slot the whole game.
I'd be interested to see where what his alignments were from the last game. I did see him outside a couple. I don't remember seeing him outside a whole ton. I saw him in the slot a ton.
Let's see if I can pull up PFF.
Yeah, cockamamie PFF, and just kind of see what they have to say about this. This is one thing they can't screw up, is just telling you where some guy was lined up.
Well, I don't know about. I mean,
yeah, that run blocking grade that they had on Andre Kojo from the kneel downs at the end of the game. All right, so let's see.
Great audio. Great. Colston Loveland. Here we go. PFF couldn't make their site any easier to access. Snaps by position. Inline, 27 inline, 10 slot, 9 wide.
9 wide.
Yep.
You can't shadow him. He's too much all over the field. You can't do it. You're telling the defense exactly what you're going to do.
No.
Gilbo's fine to deal with him. He's fine. It'll be fine.
So Gilbo's going to go outside and cover him?
No. When he's outside, Barron will be on him. I don't want Gavin Holmes on him. Yeah, I mean, you got to look, dude. Look, Colston Love is a problem. But, dude, here we are. We're talking about a tight end.
We're talking about the best tight end in college football.
But that's your most dynamic and your best player on offense. And what 8 catches versus Fresno?
It worked for Georgia the last couple of years.
Well, oh God, you tell me that one of these guys like Samaj Turner is like a Lad McConkey or something? That's not true.
Samaj Morgan. I think Samaj Morgan's pretty good. Yep. They want to use him over the top. So
what's up, man? Welcome to
brother?
Texas Beef Traders. Good to see you, brother.
What's up, dog?
The thing about Loveland is, I think that it's just odd to me that he's the one guy that we're focused on so much when we're talking about a tight end that's like a true all American.
He's all American, yeah.
Like tight end that's like, now he doesn't look like Kittle and he doesn't look like some of these dudes.
He looks like Bowers.
He's an awesome run blocker. He's like one of these dudes, like you just don't, like we talked about yesterday with the Jason Morrow, Mark Andrews stuff. It doesn't remind me of that. But now that I look at the numbers, 19 either in the slot or outside versus 17 in line. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't think that you can have Jahdae Barron trail him around. We've already heard Sark say we're not going to have him do it with Horton, and they didn't do it with Horton. I don't see it.
Orgy played 6 snaps last week. 9, sorry, dyslexic.
So the answer to this final takes question is definitely yes. He's going to play more.
All right, final takes.
Isn't it amazing how we can just do this on the fly here right at Texas Beef Traders? All right. What is this one?
Is it more likely that Donovan Edwards or Jaden Blue is talked about as a Heisman contender after Saturday's game?
I don't think it's going to be Jaden Blue. I don't see him having a monster game. Do you?
I think Edwards has the bigger game of the two players in the rushing perspective. In the receiving perspective, I think it's completely hinging on Texas's plan for Jaden Blue. If the plan is to move the line of scrimmage to the outside, move it to those screen games, move it to those immediate, flare routes that we saw last. They ran the flare routes on back-to-back reps. Remember, he dropped one. They ran it right back to him the next play.
He caught that one.
Caught it, right? Like, we're talking from that perspective, yeah, if he has a 70, 80-yard receiving game, puts another 50 on it on the ground, 120 yards all-purpose, touchdown, focal point of the game, Blue's going to – I don't think he's going to put his name in the conversation. Ashton Jeanty from Boise State had 6 touchdowns and 300 yards last week, and he isn't quite in the conversation.
Cody has the best take here. That's the best take. That's the best one.
Shocker.
Yeah. That's the best take. Neither of these guys are going to be in the Heisman conversation after this weekend.
Facts. I think that's the bigger, yeah.
But of the one who's more likely, if something were to happen,
Donovan.
I think it's probably
because the whole offense will hinge on Donovan. If he gets going, and it's weird because they have Khalil Mullings there right now, and he had the bigger game last week. But if Edwards were to get going behind this offense and propel Michigan to a 1 or 2 loss season and a playoff berth, it'll be on the back of Edwards and probably Loveland, not a quarterback. So then that by default I think puts Edwards in that conversation.
Yep. And we have this. What's it? Friendly Mango saying as a Texas fan, he hopes it's not. He hopes it's not blue. He's saying that.
As a Longhorn fan, I will say I like blue better, but I'm not going to be the type of person who picks their team player as the better player because I think Edwards is more skilled.
I mean, blue's really good, man, but Edwards has a very.
Blue's got better vision.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not Edwards' game. It's the vision stuff.
Blue's got better burst, got better long acceleration, got better long speed, got better receiving chops.
Yeah, but Donovan Edwards has better just open field like navigability and stuff. It's like it's just a. And man, he's dynamic. We can't forget these games where Donovan Edwards goes.
We're comparing the two, right? They're both dynamic.
Yeah, I have not seen Jaden Blue come in and do the things in relief of Jonathan Brooks last year that I have seen the things that Donovan Edwards came in and doing in 2022 in relief of Blake Corum. I just haven't. So, yep, I think that's where I'd be on that.
Final takes. Is David Benda the starter on defense? David Benda is the starter on defense. Whose job is the least safe over the remainder of the season?
Let's pull up the depth
Who first
chart.
came to mind when you brought this up? Because last week we saw a good amount of Mo Blackwell. Last week we saw zero Javion Cole essentially. So I don't really think that Gavin Holmes and Jahdae Barron's split start situation. I don't really care. I'm not really going to call that like a whose job is safe and not safe. Like they're utilizing both guys as they should. The safeties are again interchangeable. I can't really call either of those. It feels like maybe Benda. I actually, you know what? No, I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I think it's. I know it's going to sound just completely stupid, but Alfred Collins, like, he's not going to lose his job, but I could see him losing a ton of reps. If this game does not go how Alfred Collins thinks it's going to go. Like last week was the game of all games to get the season going on the right foot, get off the milk carton, and play football. And he didn't exactly do it. And if Bill Norton can just be steady Eddie and show up and play football at a higher level, I think that the reps start to go, 1 by 1, 2 by 2 to Bill Norton's favor.
Bill Norton needs to get on the field a little bit more, but you would think maybe if the game was closer, towards the end, they just didn't put him in anymore. You know what I mean? He didn't play much at the beginning, and then they started putting in the backup dudes, and they really wanted to see what they had in, Sadir Mitchell and Alex January and all the rest of those guys. But last week, I think Norton only played 7 snaps. There's only 4 players on defense that played less snaps than Bill Norton last week. Darian Gillette, Javion Cole, Wardell Mack, and Jerry Bledsoe. So I'd be curious to see if that's the one. I kind of think it's Benda, even though he played really well last week. I think that Maurice Blackwell looks really good out there. I'm trying to look at some. Thank you, brother. Hey, man, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. All right, man. Thank you all. All right, so I think that probably, and then do you consider what the other just conversation is the safeties, right? He will be soon.
I think that means I'm drunk for bringing up Alfred Collins. I think that's what that
means. Yeah, by the way, speaking of drunk, man, can I grab another beer? Thank you, brother. That's how things work here at Texas Beef Traders. So I think just the only other conversation is at the safety spot, where do you really feel like Andrew Makuba and Michael Taft, after one game where they've looked like they're kind of clear starters over Derek Williams and Jelani McDonald? I mean, does that mean that they're – I almost feel like this is almost like an – thank you, Blake. I almost feel like this is something like an Alan Makeda type of thing, where it's like he says like starters don't matter. I kind of think that that's true about Derek Williams, right?
Like I said, I don't really want to bring up safety. Like, I think that they're just so interchangeable, and the way the staff has talked about them as a whole is they're all going to get opportunities to start. Like, I don't think it's going to be Makuba and Taff every single week, but it will be Makuba and Taff occasionally.
Do you think it will be a Makuba and it'll be 16-4 out there to start the game versus Michigan?
I kind of want to see Jelani McDonald
What really?
to bring some physicality to Loveland.
Oh gosh, I mean that's good, but I just don't. I think that he's the one that you see is
I don't know if they trust
the
him.
youngest, and it's almost like if you put those guys out there with the first group, I think that it's going to be the first group again versus Michigan. I'd be interested to see if it's Derek Williams though, man. And if it is Derek Williams, I'd be interested to see if it's over Makuba or whether it's over Michael Taff.
Makuba.
It would be over Makuba. They're not taking Taff out of that.
I'll
game.
bend the knee on that.
Yeah, man. You got to bend the knee on Michael Taff for sure. You're in Western Travis County right now. You have to understand, man. This is Michael Taff territory. All right. What is the next one here on Final Takes? Let's see here. You have. Okay, I like this one. Because I wrote it.
That's usually how that works.
Matthew Golden finishes as the number 2 receiver statistically. After what we saw last week, where it was Isaiah Bond, it was Matthew Golden and Silas Bolden, Ryan Wingo, and Silas Bolden, Ryan Wingo, and Jonte Cook just kind of sprinkled in with DeAndre Moore, sprinkled in with those first 2 when they go to 11 personnel. Does Golden just run? Here's the thing about Golden. I would not have picked that to happen just from a personnel guy kind of standpoint from what I've seen of them. But clearly I hadn't been at every practice that the staff has. I don't know. I don't know exactly what Sark looks for and exactly these players. And those guys dominated all the reps.
Well, there's a reason that they kick you guys out of practice the second week. And after you guys left, was obviously with Matthew Golden. They're like, we're not going to tell these guys who the number 2 is. They're going. These guys all know Bond is
Bianco, get him out of here. What do we do? What are we doing? Right? No, I don't know. It's like right now, I think he would have to be the betting favorite.
Gosh, I just can't. I think I would take if I got better juice on Wingo. If this was a pure bet, I think I'd take better juice on Wingo. I'd take Wingo.
No, but this isn't better. This is like in a vacuum.
Statistically.
Yeah, in a vacuum. Who's going to have the better
Wingo.
Statistics?
I think I'm getting better juice is what I'm saying. But in a vacuum, 1v1, I'm taking Wingo.
As BYU is up on SMU here to start this game. And our guy Shay, not too pleased. We'll see.
Welcome to the ACC.
Hey, dude. Here's one thing about Shay and about SMU. Dude, one thing about Shea and SMU is like if they didn't perform the way that he thought, just don't ask him about it. It's better to let him stew in it on his own, man. Because I didn't. No, I'm good. He's telling me he wants me to shove my face and quit talking about SMU. All right. All right.
We got any left? We get through all of them? We got one more here.
One more.
Was Derek Williams, final takes, was Derek Williams playing time in week 1 indicative of what we'll see versus Michigan? It kind of goes to the safety position that we were just talking about. More Williams, less Makuba. You didn't exactly have high praise for Makuba in the old deep dig this week.
I think
you're just a hater of Makuba.
I think we have to see more Derek Williams. I don't understand this, and we talked about it on the show coming into this weekend, or coming into last weekend, about how I'd gotten some kind of signs from people behind the scenes. They're like, dude, I'm not sure Derek Williams is going to start, man. I'm like, what?
Derek Williams at an 11.8, Makuba 61 on the deep dig. 24 snaps to 21.
And what's the production on it? It's hard for me to see from over here. What is
0.39 for Makuba, 1.78 for Williams.
What?
Phil Simi had a better game than Makuba.
Well, Phil Simi played at the very
He
tail
played football
end.
just like Makuba did.
Yeah,
You know who's not on that list?
what is the difference?
Michael Taft.
What is the difference in snap percentages? Hold on, let me just
24 to 21.
So it's exactly the same.
Yeah, from
Let me just
Makuba and
look at
Derek Williams.
Let me look at the participation chart and just see. So, because I want to, like, when did Williams come in? I'm not sure we went over exactly when he came in. So he came in.
Number 2,
Yeah, I know. So he came
third
in
drive, second drive. I think it was a third drive.
third drive. He came in. So 2 whole drives. I mean, we're talking a full 10 plays before he comes in. And it's not like he comes in and mixes in with
Yeah.
Manny Muhammad.
Yeah.
He comes in with Jelani McDonald. I think that has to tell us something. So,
As
would-
Taft's replacement.
yeah, I would. Well, no, because the safeties,
They're interchangeable. I get it.
where they line up, they don't care. They just stay on the same side. It isn't like there are 2 corners that move from side to side, and that's Kobe Black at the boundary and Gavin Holmes at the field, and the rest are just they just stay on their same side. I guess, dude. How about this? He came in whenever like Trey Moore comes off the field and Justice Finkley comes on the field, right? You know what I'm saying?
I
when they
thought
came in.
Finkley played a little much.
I mean, Colin Simmons needs to play a little bit more.
I thought Finkley played a little much. We didn't talk about that all week, but Finkley played a
I
good.
mean, look, it's like look at all that number 1. Like, look at 1 on the
third and
participation
fifth,
chart.
The third and fifth drives. Cotton made a good point about Makuba, though. He said Makuba's experience and range can stay over the top for one high while the front gets after it. That's a kind of a good theory against Michigan, against the run. That'll be interesting.
They're going to get into a bunch of one high. I mean, they're probably going to have to.
Against
I mean,
his defense, you can.
They talk
Or
about
against his offense, you can.
defending those perimeter runs.
Yeah.
We know that Michael Taft has really improved with his open field tackling and stuff. So I mean, I would. Man, Michael Taft's gonna have to tackle in this game. Jahdae Barron's gonna have to tackle in this game. Jalen Gilbo's gonna have to tackle in this game. Those dudes that are these perimeter runs. Donovan Edwards can't get loose to the perimeter. He can't. If that happens, this whole thing is like. It's like Gabe Rodriguez is saying. He's like, "Am I the only one who's a little bit worried about everybody saying Texas we're going to stop Michigan?" It's like, no, man. You're not crazy to think about that. There are ways that they can come in, and they could do some things. It's just I don't see them being able to put together the whole game plan and the whole offense, right, based around what Davis Warren did last week. And to repackage that thing and put whatever coat of paint you want on it and say, no, it's a new thing this week, and we held back last week and everything. I still think, man, you open up the hood in that thing, and what do you see the big rat's nest underneath. There are issues here that it's not like they can just fix because they were holding back. And if they were holding back so much last week, were they holding back at the very end whenever things started to feel like they were clicking a little bit?
Yeah.
It was like they're not holding back. They're trying to make sure that they get far enough ahead to win a football game and not be embarrassed. So I can understand that, yes. Are we going to see some different things versus Texas? Yes. Are we going to see Davis Warren, Alex Orji on the field at the same time against Texas? Yes. Some different wrinkles? I think, of course. But the Texas defensive line, say what you will about them as a run-stopping unit, it's like Michigan can point to them and say they're not very good, the same way that we can point at Michigan and say that offensive line, they're not very good. You know, it's almost like somebody's gonna have to step up, man. And hopefully it's not Cody's. Hopefully Cody's wrong about it being Alfred Collins staying on the milk carton, because if he stays on the milk carton this week, we're all going to be in a lot of trouble.
All right, a few minutes left. Get your votes in. Final take. Give me your score prediction and play of the game.
All
Not
right.
player, play of the game.
Score prediction is Texas 24, Michigan 17. So I think that would mean it goes under.
I think that I don't know, 42. Yeah, there you go.
That's 41. Yeah. So it goes under. If you got Texas at 7.5, I don't think they cover. I think if you got them at 7, they push.
Oh.
I think if you got them at 6.5, they cover. So I think it's going to be just right there, right in line with that. I think if Texas gets to 24 points, they're going to win this football game unless there is a defensive or special team score. I think that the play of the game will be Quinn Ewers dropping back, double move, Isaiah Bond on your guy, Will Johnson.
Fuck you.
Hey, swear jar. Swear jar. You can't whisper swear words on football.
Stealing my play over here. All right. I started out 34-13. Golly, look at this. They got us a swear jar and everything up in here. There's the camera.
Yep.
Pay up. 34-13 is where I started this week. I moved up to 34-20. I don't think Michigan can score 20. I don't think they can score 13. I'm going 34 Texas, 10 Michigan. I do think Donovan Edwards rushes for 98 yards, pushes to 100, doesn't quite get there. And in totality, at the end of the day, it's Ryan Wingo that snaps the back, that breaks the back of the Michigan defense, and he finishes with 88 yards. Ryan Wingo, 4 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. He runs the double move against Will Johnson in the third quarter.
But it's a double move against our guy, right? All right, let's look at the final scores here. Let's end the
21-20, says Tom Carb. What the hell are you talking about? Get this out of here. Get this Michigan.
Who
crap.
won final takes?
Who won final takes? Alex.
Alex wins.
Did you get the win? 43% Alex.
I needed to get on the board.
Got one.
Got one.
Bad luck
All
for
right.
Texas, but hey, you
Every
got on the board.
every time I won last year, Texas always won. So
That's not true. You won the Washington week.
did I?
Yes.
Well, let's not talk about that.
All right. Prize picks.
So prize picks.
Do we not get our free roll Friday?
Oh, the Flex Friday. All right, I'll tell you guys who to put in.
We got a game coming up here in an hour.
Oh, no, man, we're not gonna put in prize picks for this game coming up in an hour. I can put it in for NFL.
All right. You got one for the NFL? You got one off your top of your dome that you have in or no?
Yeah, let me just tell you the ones that I like because we don't need to.
I'm not going to share my screen. I'm just going to we
Yeah.
can talk about it. I mean, they always ask. They ask if we don't do it, we get yelled at for not doing it.
So for Flex Friday,
You get a free Caleb Williams. Make sure you opt in for that.
yeah,
Half-yard passing.
I had James Conner over 11.5 receiving yards. I think that the Cardinals are going to be playing from behind in this game, and I'm like, is James Conner not going to catch 11.5 receiving yards in that football game if it's a trailing game script for the
Is that
Cardinals?
his number, 11.5?
Yes, it seems stupid. And the same thing, staying on the running back thing. Tony
Yeah.
Pollard 9.5. And honestly, dude, staying on the running back thing, they have a Chase Brown one for 8.5 receiving yards right now. It looks like we're not going to have. We know we're not going to have T. Higgins this week for the Bengals. Jamar Chase says he's a game time decision. I don't think this is all going to be through like Andre Yosivach and if Jermaine Burton's even active and all the rest. They're going to want to make sure that Chase Brown is involved in the receiving game. So 3 running backs there who I think go over as far as their receiving yards. And then the one other was a receiving yards, a combo for the Sunday night game with Cooper Kupp and Amon-Ra St. Brown that was like 149.5. They're going to, dude, Amon-Ra might smash that on his own, and Kupp might smash that on his own. So that combo pick, that's one I like. So those will be 4.
I'm surprised they didn't offer you a 3-piece with Puka Nacua added in there.
They have one with Puka and Sam Laporta, but I like the one better with Cooper Kupp and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So
there you go.
Thanks to Texas Beef Traders. Thanks for Cody for flying in for 12 hours flying in to spend 12 hours in Austin / Lakeway, Texas, to be able to come do this show with us. Thanks to Darren.
Blake, you got a score?
Thanks to Shay. Thanks to Blake.
Get over here.
Let's have Blake give his score takes.
31-20 Texas.
All right.
Let's go.
There he is.
That's all for me.
There's Blake. Alex. We got Blake back. It's always good whenever we have Blake back. So thanks to everybody. Thanks to Poncho Outdoors for the great sponsorship. We're wearing our Poncho Outdoors shirts. Thanks to Specs. Thanks to Texas Beef Traders. Thanks to everybody who showed up here tonight. We thank you guys so very much. Hopefully we'll see you on Monday for a Victory Monday.
And a Beef Jerky Monday.
And a Beef Jerky Monday.